Good morning. I'm Betty Cook, and I'm one of your practitioners at the Center for Spiritual Living, Eugene. Hello from Kansas City. I'm going to speak with you today about our topic of the possibility and meaning that comes from vulnerability. So recently, I had the opportunity to interact with the medical staff of the University of Kansas, and they told me that I needed to have a procedure done to find out more information. Now, as a rule, I do not like to be in a position where I have to even have that conversation, and you probably may be the same. And I look at medical folks and medical information and a trust but verify relationship. So I do trust them and I do listen, and they are experts. I go to them for that expertise, but I also do a lot of research myself. So that's me. I'm always the researcher, checking it out, just checking out what they're saying to me. So I was in a position where I they done some imaging. We needed to know more, and they wanted to actually put me in a position where I was not going to be conscious to get more information. So I did not like that idea very much, but I said, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to find this out. So what I asked for when I went to my practitioner brothers and sisters, what I asked for them to pray for was that everything that I needed to know would be revealed. And I didn't ask for them to know whole and perfect health, because I needed to do that for myself. So I was going to hold a consciousness that I was whole, perfect, and complete, and then they would know that everything I needed to know would be revealed. So I went through that whole thing this week and woke up, and it was, kind of interesting, because they told me that basically I was okay, but this other thing came up, and it had to do with my heart, and so they were a little concerned about my heart. And that is often what happens these days with me. I go in for something, and I end up finding out information about a whole different thing. So I had to make myself vulnerable. I had to allow them to put me in a position where I actually had to go under a sedation before they figured out that I had a heart thing. So now they'll probably want to evaluate my heart thing. And I realized that I prayed and I asked for prayer for exactly the right thing. What I asked for was for prayer to be, for me to have something revealed. And it was, that there was something else that I needed to know. And what does that have to do with being a practitioner? Well, this is exactly what it is that it has to do with. It's not that things do not happen to us along the way. I would have never thought that I would have 2 or 3 of the diagnoses that I have. I would have never thought that this was coming for me when I was younger. My family members have had other stuff. They haven't had my stuff. And it's all related. It's all kind of related in a genetic way, but it's not exactly, and I wouldn't have expected it, but as each piece of this has come to me in the last 2 or 3 years, actually it's been about 4 years, I have leaned into the faith, and I have leaned into the teaching. And I have known 2 things completely: that everything that was happening to me was happening for the good of my spiritual journey. Now that can be hard. That can be difficult for us to believe when we get like scary diagnoses, or diagnoses that we don't know how that's going to fit in our life. We don't know how does that make my spiritual journey better? This doesn't feel like it makes my spiritual journey better. And when you're waking up from anesthesia and they're telling you stuff about your heart, you're like, hey, that doesn't feel like that's what I was here for. I wasn't here for that. I was here for something completely different. What is this? But what I asked was for things to be revealed, so that the next part of my journey, the next part of the spiritual part of that journey, I would understand, I would know. And that's going to be for my highest and best. So what didn't get revealed was stuff that I was in there for. That was all fine. But what did get revealed was something that I probably need to look at and I need to know about. And that part of my journey, that is spirit in its highest and best looking out. Okay? So spirit didn't take me in because I had a cardiac event. Spirit took me in for something different. And then I could deal with this, right? That's the thing. We don't always know what to do with the information we get. And it's not that things stop happening to us in this teaching, but what we have to offer, what practitioners can have to help you with, and what we learned that helped us, is a set of tools. We have sort of a toolkit. We have sort of a set of tools that that will help us be able to spiritually live an enriched experience of these things that come into our lives. And also just to cope and to know that I'm not alone. And I wasn't alone. I was not. I had a practitioner, wonderful friend that was there for me and took me to this. She was there and heard the information with me. I've called a couple of people since then, and we've talked about things that happened in their lives. And that's part of what we're offering you as practitioners. Because when I forget, because I'm in the middle of my medical stuff, they remember for me. And what we can offer you in the middle of whatever life stuff you're going through is the tools that we can remind you of, that we remember and we remind you of, because we had to learn them and we had to remember them. We remember them for one another. We help one another remember, and we help you. And the nicest part about that is I never felt like I was alone in any of these experiences. I knew that my practitioner brothers and sisters were with me. I knew that my community was around me, and that I was not alone in it at any point. And that Spirit was there with me as well. Spirit was carrying us all through it. And so you aren't alone. That's one of the things that we offer, is that you're not alone. You have us, and you have the community around you, the Center for Spiritual Living Community. And that is the most important thing we offer. That and the opportunity that if the tools and the classes perhaps aren't enough, if you're feeling like the vulnerability that you're showing, the honesty you're revealing, the deeper work that you're doing in those places is not enough, then we can help you if you want to do one-on-one deeper work with us. So it is difficult to go through stuff that leaves us feeling kind of knocked off center. And many of us have things that leaves us knocked off center. But Spirit is the center. And the center is the center. And we are the heartbeat of the center. Mine's just a little slower. Okay, so I want you to have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. And it's been a pleasure speaking with you about this today. And namaste.